Foundation Season 3, Episode 2, Shadows in the Math, takes Jared Harris' version of Harry Seldon and finally molds him into an iteration of the character who is far more like he is in the books. Originating among the pages of Isaac Asimov's Foundation series, Harry Seldon is pivotal in both the source material and its live-action adaptation. While Harry has taken a backseat to some of Foundation Season 3's new characters for the time being, he is still a vital figure in the show's larger story. However, some creative liberties have been taken when adapting Asimov's books into one of Apple TV Plus' best sci-fi shows, which includes how Psychohistory's developer has been portrayed. Jared Harris is great as Harry Seldon, but he's far younger than his book counterpart. Harris is about 15 years short of being a book-accurate Harry Seldon. Jared Harris is currently 63 years old and will turn 64 in August. So, it stands to reason that his version of Harry Seldon is roughly the same age. While this gives the character more than enough time to become a prominent figure in his field, he's still too young to be a faithful adaptation of Harry from the Foundation books. Isaac Asimov's Harry Seldon was in his 80s in the source material, which means there's a disparity of about 15 years between both versions of the character. That said, I still think Harris was the right choice to play Harry Seldon in the live-action Foundation adaptation. His performance offers both the air of authority and approachability I've always associated with the figure. Jared Harris' Harry Seldon is more age-appropriate in Foundation Season 3, Episode 2. Isaac Asimov's Psychohistorian looks like he was always supposed to in Shadows in the Math. Jared Harris as old Harry Seldon in Foundation. Foundation Season 3's timeline means that Harry is far older than he looks by the time of Episode 2, Shadows in the Math. Regardless, while he begins in the installment looking as he always has, remaining out of stasis to help guide the second Foundation allows him to age naturally while Gal Dornick, Lou Lobel, remains forever younger. So, by the episode's 8-minute mark, Jared Harris looks far more like his book counterpart. Again, he's actually hundreds of years old at this point, but he at least looks to be physically in his 80s, which feels like a nod to the version of the character originally penned by Isaac Asimov for 1951 series starter. Apple TV Plus' version of Foundation has already taken Harry Seldon past the point of book accuracy. Jared Harris is essentially playing a new character in Foundation. Jared Harris as Harry Seldon and Lou Lobel as Gal Dornick in Foundation. The notable changes Apple TV Plus' space opera has made to the source material means having an elderly Seldon wouldn't have served the new approach to the centuries-long plot. So, while aging Harris up for Shadows in the Math may seem like a case of too little too late, it's not a delayed attempt to faithfully portray the character. Apple TV Plus' Foundation changed Harry Seldon's arc long before Season 3. The biggest alteration is that the character is barely in the books at all. He dies very early in the story but leaves behind pre-recorded messages to update the Foundation on his plan as the centuries pass by. The messages are viewed in the vault. The vault is also very different between both versions of the saga. It's a fairly regular space in the books, and the recordings of Harry aren't interactive. In the show, Harris' character leaves behind what is essentially a sentient hologram of himself in an incredibly divergent take on the vault. So, what ultimately happens is that the adaptation of Isaac Asimov's work ends up with two versions of Harry Seldon, with one remaining ageless thanks to his digital nature, and the other eventually succumbing to the ravages of time. It's a drastic overhaul of Harry from the original Foundation, but the changes work well in the story's new medium.